See my screen. Ajay sir, how are you,
It's
sir?
perfect. I'm good. Thanks. And let's take on very well.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me just open the screen and then I'll set it up. Okay, sir. So thank you everyone for coming. So today I'm just gonna start this session now, and let's continue. Oops. Okay. Is it fine, like if I continue like that, or how to expand it full screen? I'm not sure. So anyway, so I just want to start with a small introduction of me. Like, my name is Anurag Sen, as you already know, and I started as a senior software developer at Wipro Technologies in 2014, and over 7+ year of experience in Unity itself. But yeah, most of people are confused, like, that 7 years experience in game development. No, I was utilizing the potential of Unity to provide industrial solutions, to be honest. Like, people does use different kind of tool set to provide software. So I was the one who was utilizing the Unity to provide different kind of graphical software supports and application development at Wipro. And then I completed my MTech in software engineering from West Pilani. And then likewise, I become the senior game developer in Wipro, because that given me the boost in gaming, and that was my passion as well. So a couple of big gaming customer that we had in Wipro, and then I got an opportunity to be the part of with them. And then I was deputed at Saudi Aramco in Saudi Arabia for almost 7-9 months in as a simulation engineer. There also I was using the potential of Unity to provide reservoir simulation. A lot of things involved utilizing the shaders and graphical aspect of 3D meshes and all. So many things were there, and now it's completely opposite profession, to be honest. Now I'm just providing how to make games and all those things. So like I became professor, you can say, a senior game development faculty at DY Patil University. So now I'm getting a really good opportunity to guide and nurture our Indian audience to become very good developer, or you can say very good game programmer, plus 2D artist, 3D artist, whatever you say, we will try our best. Not only me, there are many best teachers available at iNurture, who just wanted to provide uh, their knowledge. They just want to share the knowledge with you all guys, so that you can pursue your career ahead, whatever you wish to. Like if you want to join the game development company, you can definitely go ahead and do that. So all the best for that. So this is a small introduction about me in a nutshell. Let's go ahead. So today, this session I made it pretty simple. We will be making a simple 2D game, in which we will start from scratch. Like if someone don't know how to make games, and if you don't even know how to start and all like that, so we will cover each and everything. I'll try my best to cover each and everything, like how you can make game art, and how you can rig the player, and how you can script the player and animation and all those things. Though I have already pre-made the things for you to convey the knowledge, but I have made it in a different way, so that we will be what do you call, walk through together. Instead of just showing you each and every script, I will tell you what all steps I have taken, so that step by step we can procedurally go ahead, and then I'll show you, what I have done. And if anytime, if anyone have any doubt, you can directly just stop me and ask me any questions. So In introduction session we will be covering these topics, where how we can make game art, and then how we can rig, then controller, animation, particle system, sound, and how we can publish the game. This is a small introduction of the entire session and the game concept. That yeah, again, so this is a subtopic, but I just want to give you an idea in a nutshell, like what exactly a game concept is all about. Game concept consists of these 4 5 things, and there are many more, but these are the major thing, you have to keep in mind, like whenever you create any game. So what will be the name of the game you can choose? This is a very difficult task, to be honest, naming convention, also all those things, because as a programmer, when we name the variable, sometimes we don't know what to keep the name. So this is a big task. Not that big, to be honest. And rules, any game, if you take example of your day-to-day game, like playing a ball, or if a small kid, he used to throw ball to the wall and then ball bounce back to him, that also have a certain rule. Just imagine, like if you want to create a game in real world, just to throw the ball to the wall and then ball will come back to you, and what are the things you need to take care, what are the point system you want to take care, how would you define the win situation, how you define the lose situation. So game must have a rule. Without rule, there is no game. So that's why rule is very important. And when we talk about this 2D, 3D, or any game which is playable on any platform, does have some kind of scorekeeper in different format. Scorekeeper doesn't mean like the scorekeeper is always keeping a score, like you have a score 100 points, 200 points. It could be anything. Nowadays, if you might have played PUBG, then there is a leaderboard. You achieved a gold medal, you have achieved a gold tier. So this gold tier, platinum tier, diamond tier, these are also comes under the scorekeeper, but a different form. So there are different flavors of scorekeeper. However you want, you can design, and you can come up with something new as well. Like money keeper. Like if you play the game, we will give you money on your PayPal account. If you play the game, we will give you money on your Paytm wallet, like how MPL is doing nowadays. Then health keeper. Health is also very important aspect while playing games, because if you have a, let's say, if you have created a classic game, let's say Mario. So Mario have some lives, 3 lives, and so life is nothing but the health. If Mario collide with some obstacle, which is a living obstacle, let's say duck, then he will die, or he will shrink his size. Then it's a health keeper, and then game over. There should be a end of the game. Uh, there is no game like which is endless. Yeah, endless runner are there. There are GTA and all those things. But I'm talking about majority of game which have some certain levels. Are there is an end of the game. Like when we talk about the prehistory era of game development, so there was a time like we have to end the game. Suppose if I ask you to just let's come out and play cricket, and there is no end, it doesn't make any sense. There should be an end. Your mom will say like go ahead, go to the playground after 5, please come back home, don't delay more than 6 p.m. So there is an end, time is the end. So likewise we have to keep a track, like when should we end the game. And then publish is a very simple concept. After creating the game concept, after making your code run, after doing all your hard work, this is the best part. Like once you publish your game, you will feel so happy, like oh my god, I have done something amazing now. So to publish a game, you have to find a suitable platform, like for what platform you have created the game, and then where should I publish. There are different publisher. Like you suppose you write a book and you want to publish that book to, let's say, your favorite genre. You want to reach out to Yashwant Connector, who wrote Let Us See, Let Us See Sharp, and all those books. So Yashwant Mr. Yashwant will give you permission. Okay, I will be your publisher, and then you can name your book, and we can continue business with you. So these are the publishing aspect. But here we will publish our book onto one certain platform which is already available for developers, or our games, where everyone can play the game. Publish is also mean like there is a particular platform where you put your game in, so that anyone can reach out to that platform and can enjoy your game. So in a nutshell, this is how a publishing works. And while publishing the game, we have to do certain checklists. So I just pointed out some, like check the release, whether your game release version is correct or not, and finalize the package, like everything is correct, all files are included, nothing is missing. Play the game again and again, and so that you are satisfied. Okay, yeah, now I am ready to publish my game, and then publish and go live and enjoy. and learning outcome. So here are two different category I have made. Like if you are a non-programmer, what would be your learning outcome? And if you're a programmer, what would be your learning outcome? So for non-programmers, you will get to know, like, how to design art and how to design sound and how to add VFX onto your game, and how to make custom animation and rig the player. And to be honest, I am very bad at it. I'm a programmer. I don't have any idea how to design, but I have tried my best. And the entire tutorial which I am trying to, uh, you know, uh, in a few minutes, I'll gonna start there. So whatever arts are there, I already utilize that art from online, like some other tutorial which were available. So from there, I have utilized those arts. So if you think like I'm damn intelligent in creating art, no, I'm not. I have no idea. But programming aspect, definitely you can ask me anything. I want to uh, I want to share whatever possible. So for non-programmers, I will definitely give a path, like how we can design, how you can brush up the thing. And for programmers, you will able to pour life into the game, whatever just created by your fellow artist. Let's say your fellow artist will come up with a Mega Mario, then you will put life into it by writing code. And we will be understanding while making this game, what are the do's and don'ts we have to take, and how to utilize the potential of version controller and maintain the code and reusability and all those things. So without further ado, let's get started. So what I'm trying to do here is, so as you can see, this is an empty scene. This is our Unity 3D, to be honest. Okay, and in Unity 3D, I'm gonna open, let me, okay, it is empty, nothing is there. Okay, this is a complete empty project. So what I have done here is, like, I have created a GitHub repository where I have created all the steps whatever I have performed while creating this game. Okay, so there are 20 steps which we have to follow to make this game. Before that, I just want to give you a small background of GitHub, what exactly it is. So GitHub is nothing but, it just imagine in a way like it's your folder structure. So I will share it with you. Let's say this is my desktop, and here you can see a zoom icon, a desktop icon. Suppose if I want to create one folder in my desktop, so what I will do, I'll just create CD desktop, and then I will like create Anurag. And see below the zoom, we have the Anurag folder created. Okay, so this is how a repository works. Repository is nothing but a folder. You can imagine a folder, but the folder is available online as well as onto your offline machine. So once I click here and go to the changes, let me just revert this one first. Step one. So step one is nothing but, 1 second, revert all, is commit. See, I have reverted everything one by one, and revert means like after creating the entire game, I am reverse following the step back, so that one by one I can create everything in front of you, so that you will able to understand what I'm trying to do. So the very first thing I did is, like, I created this empty Unity project which has nothing. Just ignore these all those things for the time being. This is empty. You can see just I created a folder called 2D game development session 1, which has image, and step 3. We can ignore the step 3 as well for now. But before that, let's go ahead with the step 1. I have to merge this. Okay, commit, push. So what I'm trying to do is, like, if any single changes I'm making in the game, so it is reflecting here, and then I'm pushing into the online version. And yeah, if you want to download the same thing right now, you can also follow along with me. I'll share you the repository link right away. So this is my repository, and we are here. And if anyone want to join, like, onto GitHub, just try to, if you guys know the idea of GitHub, then definitely just copy this and clone the repository, so that we all will be aligned in the same page. I'll share with you how to share. There is a chat option. Okay, chat. Okay, this is the repo. Yeah, repository in shortcut, it's known as repo. So you can call it repo or whatever. So I'm reverting the changes, and again before that, where what's the game dev demo? Okay, step 1. So these are revert step 2. Okay, revert commit. Just want to commit it. Okay, let's go back and bring our step 1. Oh, how many times it's coming? Okay, so let me just delete everything here. I'll just start from afresh, no issues. If that doesn't work, I'll give it one more try. If anyone have anything like you can help me out with it, please just let me know right away. Because sometimes there are many other commands I used to forget in GitHub. So there might be possibility that if I might, because see what I have done here is like I came up to step 2, but I didn't came to step 1 yet. Okay, so I need to come back to step 1 now and fetch origin, revert changes. Hold on, just bear with me. Definitely, we're gonna make this happen. See, revert to. I will just re-revert this one so that it will at least. Yeah, now it will work. Pakka. So we will reverse follow this. Okay, don't worry. Okay, now you can see it is importing the text and all. The very first thing what we are trying to do here is like we have created the folder structure. Okay, I'm reloading this. Now you can see again some other folder structure came. We have created 2 scenes, and how we created this is a folder. I just right click it and then create scene. So we have created 2 scenes. One is main scene and one is menu scene. Okay, so this is a very what you call a pale design. Just ignore it for the time being. So we are mainly focused on the main scene. So as you can see, when you follow the history here, step 2, what step 2 says, when we come here, step 2 says like create the empty scene. So it's nothing, we just created the empty scene and nothing else. Now we will just merge it, push it, and then we'll go back to history and we will re-revert the step 3. Okay, now step 3 is reverted back. We are pushing it to origin, and now again it will load. So step 3, what does step 3 says? Let's scroll down, and step 3 says import the character and other asset which you feel is great for your game. Like we have created some characters and we imported it, and how I created that character, that also I will tell you. So I use Photoshop. So what I done in Photoshop is like I created some rough design. As you can see, you can open the Photoshop. You can just choose your favorite tool brush. I'm using my brush tool, and I can just create players like that. Let's say I created this player, stickman figure, something like that. As I already mentioned, I'm very poor in making game art. but trust me, this is how a game art works. Suppose if you want to create a player like that, if someone want to create a player without lag, then they can create a player like that. And if someone want to create other player with some this is like prototyping, rough idea of how exactly you want to create your player and how exactly you feel like your final product will look like. So before that we used to perform some rough idea, and this is how it works. Let's say someone want to create a car, then he will just create a rough car with very transparency on. This is our car. I will just reduce the size. And if you want to make it fresh, if you want to make it final version, then you will just stencil on top of it with hard color and with some different color, let's say with black as if now, and we will just stencil it like that. Okay, like that. And let's say if you are happy with your character, what you will do is that you will just crop it. Okay, and you will merge the layer and you will just transparent the background so that it will come as an outcome of a PNG file. So here what we have done is like we have created our character. I'm importing this into Photoshop. So we have created the character. We are happy with our character, and then what we have done is like we have segregated the body and left arm, left leg, and right leg separately. And then what we have done is like we created the PNG file. Okay, and why we have given so many gaps here, that you will come to know once I'll show you the step 4. Because what we'll do in Photoshop, like we'll cut this section, we will cut other section like this one, and this one, and then we'll apply some joints, and then we'll go ahead. So that's why we have created a layer with a little bit of gap. So that's all it is with the Photoshop. You don't have to do much with the Photoshop, like Photoshop, or you can use your Illustrator, whatever graphic tool. Even GIMP is available. You can use any tool you want. You create your character, and if you're happy with the character, just export it as a PNG format, and then uh, put it in your graphics folder, whatever folder structure you have created onto your Unity. So in our Unity, we have created 2D game development session 1, where we have created scene, character, images, and ignore this folder as if now. Okay, then characters. We have imported our character successfully, but as you can see here, our character is completely one, like single unit. How to separate it, how to join it, we don't have any other option. Okay, so that will come to know in step 4. Let's say whether step 4 says that or not. Slice the character and arrange it into one scene to check things are right. Okay, so step 4 is correct. So what we will do is like we'll click on step 4, we'll revert the changes, we'll push to origin, and you will able to see the reflection in Unity just as it is. So here what we have done in step 4, now we are able to see, sorry, just let me remove this for the time being. Now we are able to separately put the part along into our scene. So how this magic happened? So you must be wondering like how exactly this happened, because previously this was as a single unit, we were not able to separate it. So in Unity we have in our inspector, you can see we have a sprite mode. So what we have done there is like we created the sprite mode as multiple, and then we created our sprite editor. Okay, something went wrong. Sprite editor is not available. Why it is saying that? Yesterday only it was available. Anyway, so let's try this sprite editor. Why? Okay, let me download it from the package manager. Then package manager. So suppose if you get this kind of error anytime, don't worry about it, don't panic. If it is saying like download it from package manager, so package managers are available here at Windows, and then you can go to package manager. So once you go to package manager, you will able to see so many things here, and if you don't find whatever you're looking for, just search it here. Okay, so what we were searching, we are searching 2D sprite editor. Okay, 2D sprite editor, sprite. Okay, let's install this, and then sprite editor. It must come with that. If not, then we have to search sprite editor specifically. I don't know where it went. It was there. Let me click. Yeah, now it is coming. Okay, sometime Unity act a bit weird. So again, what I was trying to say, like click on your character, whichever you have created onto your Photoshop, and then create onto your sprite editor. So once sprite editor comes in front of your window, as you can see, it is already sliced for you, you know. And if you want to slice yourself, then what you will do, just click left mouse button and then drag it. And if you're happy with your slicing, okay, just likewise, just drag it and make sure you're happy with your slicing. And as you can see, there are multiple slicing happen because I did it custom slicing, so I'm just doing Control Z. So these are the slice, like we have cut our sprites into our desired uh, stuff, whatever we want. Like I want my right arm, I want my left arm, so we have just segregated it, but it is showing here as a one single unit. But when you go to the game, revert it, don't apply. Okay, once you go to the game, you will able to see, like you have your head, you have your arm. Okay, apply, let it be. So you have your head, you have your arm, you have player 2, likewise. Okay, and what's the advantage of slicing it? The very first thing is, like your memory size. So you don't have to create so many images, like one image with 5 MB, another image with 2 MB, another image with 3 MB, and then you want to add up those 5, 2, 6, 7, likewise 10 MB images. So instead, we will create one single sprite sheet. Let's say the maximum size could be 5 MB or 10 MB, whatever you want. And in one single sprite sheet, we can cut the player, we can cut even the hazard, like your enemies, even we can cut the trees in one single sprite sheet. We don't have to have the multiple sprites for that. So just for demonstration purpose, we have created this multiple sprite sheet so that we can differentiate between the player and enemies. Okay, let's go back and we will go to the step 4. And yeah, please memorize it which step I followed, because if I may forget, then you have to tell me. So step 4, we have completed slice the character. Now we are coming back to this step 5. In step 5, we are drawing, what we are trying to do is, like, we are importing all other necessary images and make sure our character has the correct pivot point. This is very important. Okay, I'll show you what exactly that means. So for that, I will go to this step 5, reverted one, and I will re-revert it. But before that, we have to merge it. Just give it any name, test, and then merge it. Push it, go to the step 5, revert, and then commit it. Push it, go back to the game. Let me switch off my phone. Okay, I made it to the do not disturb mode. So step 5. So step 5, you can see, so many things important now. Apart from enemies, there are so many things. Just ignore that. Now we are mainly focused on our enemy. Why? Let's say if I want only my enemy head, okay, and I want to rotate it. So what I did here is, like, I just put my enemy head and then I'm pressing E onto my keyboard, or you can see this is the rotate tool. I'm trying to rotate my head, see, left and right. So I have to make sure, like, the rotation is happening at the correct axis or not. So to do that, as you have seen in previous step, we had this slicing tool, but we had this pivot point at the center. Pivot point is nothing but the point of joint. From that point, you want to perform some action. It could be your rotation, it could be your movement or anything, but this would be your pineal joint. So how I can define a pivot in layman term is just like, just hold on anything, whatever you have in front of you. Let's say a compost box, or if you hold a pencil from its tip, and if you rotate the pencil, then pencil will rotate based on the tip only. It will not rotate based on its rubber or backside, because you have holded the pencil on your tip, on the pencil's tip. So that particular point is known as the pivot point. Okay, suppose if I move the pivot point to the, let's say, top of its here, and if I apply, and let's go back to the game. Now let's see what will happen. I'm performing the same rotation. Okay, but rotation is happening a bit weird. It is not happening according to like what we wanted. Like, you know, head doesn't move like that. Head always move from the position of our neck or below our neck. So that's why we have to fix it. So how to fix it? We will go to the sprite sheet again, and we will make sure that head should move from its neck, and body also should have its pineal joint towards the bottom, and right hand should rotate from its shoulder, and left arm should rotate from the left shoulder, likewise the leg. So this is how we have to set the pivot point, and then we will go back to our scene, and then now we'll try to rotate it. See, it's rotating perfectly. So this is what we want. So step 5 was nothing but about making sure that we have the perfect position of the pivot. I'm just committing as a test, so don't worry. Ignore all the test, only you have to follow step 1 to step 20. Okay, so step 5 is complete. Now we'll go back to the step 6 and revert it, and we'll push it. And what step 6 says, let's go to the step 6. Step 6 says we are creating a player controller script and adding player and rigid body component. Okay, so step 6 is again very pretty simple and straightforward. Let's wait it to load. Okay, so what we have done is like we have created the player, and how we created the player, I'll guide you that also. See, what I have done is I created empty game object. I given the name as a player. I'm giving it name as a player 2. And again, from our this character, I just put the head, and I will give it its name as head, and left arm. And then I will make sure, you know, my left arm is at right position. I mean, left position of the arm. Okay. And then we'll include the right arm, and I'll give it a name as right arm. Okay. And likewise, we'll have the body, and we'll have the leg. Okay. But here you can see our character is ready. But if I try to move my player 2, nothing is happening. Why? Because these all are not the child component. So I will select all, and I'll make the child component, and player 2 is a hierarchical in order now. See, now the entire player is moving left, right, up, down. So this is how we have created our player, where I have created the head, body, and yeah, body also I combined with left and right arm. So suppose if I want to rotate my body, so see, this is how it will happen. Yeah, disco dancer, but body should come with head also. So whenever we move our body, sorry, so it should move the head also. So this is a bit of realistic kind of, like, you know, when you bend, your head also bend. It doesn't like it doesn't happen like, you know, if you bend only your uh, neck remains at the position and your body, no, our neck is never detached from our body. So that's why, you know, we have to make sure that our body should contain head also. So likewise, so our pivot points are done, our body is done, and what we have done is like we have created a script here in our script folder. The name of the script is player controller and nothing else. It's an empty script. Let me open it in Visual Studio. So it's an empty script. So empty script is nothing but your C# script. It doesn't contain anything, only some of the reference to its mono behavior. Mono behavior is nothing but the unities component where it has its DLL from where we'll perform some action. If it does sound a rocket science to you, just ignore it. I will explain it later. So you can see it's an empty script. Okay. And Unity script, what it says, like, these are the inbuilt method of Unity 2 method, which is very important. Okay, the very first method is start, the second is update. So start says like, you know, this start method will call only first time whenever the game is start, only once, and this will call once per frame. So per frame could be anything based on your CPU. You know, some machines run 60 FPS, some machine run 30 FPS. So 30 FPS means 30 frame per second. 60 FPS means 60 frames per second. So in 1 second, this method can call up to 60 times, up to 30 times. And if you're using outdated computer, let's say P1 generation and all, it will call 1 or 2 times or 10 times in a second, because those machines were very slow. Okay. So what we have done here is like we have just created a player controller script and player, and we have attached the script to the player component. This is very important step. You know, if you have created a player, make sure whatever script you have created over here should attach to player. And how to attach the script? It's very simple. Just drag and drop to the player. Make sure the player is selected. Likewise, this is the first process. Just drag and drop. Second is just select the player and drag and drop to the player. See, it is reflecting here. And third step, add component and type the name of the script which you have created. So these three different types you can, create the attach the script. Okay, and I also want to give you a small introduction about what exactly this inspector tab is all about. So inspector tab, I mean to say this particular tab. Okay, oh shit, let me remove it. Okay, let me select the pen with the lowest one. Okay, it's fine now. So this tab, this is known as the inspector tab. What inspector tab does, there is no inspector, there is no ACP. Okay, whenever you select any game object, let's say if you select player, if you select camera, it shows the property of that particular game object and what all the components attached to that game object. Let's say if I select main player, let's say if I select player, so what are the components available for the player? As we can see, the component number 1 is transform, the component number 2 is rigid body, the component number 3 which we have created, that is player controller script. And you can add any component you want if it resembles that. Okay, let's say if I want to add sound, so I will just add audio and then I will search which audio I want. I want audio source. Okay, so as you can see here also gizmo came in. Gizmo is nothing but it's a representation of component sometime with different icons. So as you can see here, this is a sound gizmo. That means it represents that this player also have a sound gizmo on it. Okay, and if you want to turn off that, if it is a bit annoying to you, just click on this gizmo icon, so it will get removed, this one. Okay, let me clear the screen now. Let's go ahead. So we are at step 5 now. Now we will move to the, are we step 5 or step 6? Yeah, step 6. Now we'll go ahead with the step 7. Okay, let's go with step 7. So what does step 7 says? Edit the player controller script to make player move left and right. Okay, now the real game begin. We will edit left and right. We'll push it to the origin and we will wait for it to reflect onto our Unity. It is loading. Now reload it. See. Okay, so previously, as you have seen that our script was completely empty. Now it has some code. Okay, what this code represent? You don't have to worry about it. Don't be scary. I will rewrite it for you and I'll explain it one by one. If you say I will rewrite it or I will explain it. Okay. So the very first part I want to explain is like here we are defining the variables. Okay, what all the variables are I want to use in this game. So the very first thing I'm declaring is like float, and type of that is speed, and the second is rigid body. Rigid body, I'll tell you what exactly it is, and I'm giving it as a name as underscore rigid body. And as you can see, like I'm using a private here, so that's why my variable name started with underscore. And if it is a public variable, so the naming convention should start with capital letter and then camel casing, you can say, like. Okay, and start method, as I said, whenever we start our game, this method get calls, this method actually only once. Okay, so whenever our game will start, so what it will do is like it will search, see underscore RB, that means rigid body equal to this dot get component. This means in which this script is attached to. So currently our script is attached to player component. Okay, player game object. So it will search in player whether the rigid body component is available or not. If yes, then it will assign to RB. Now I have used here as a fixed update, not the update. Why? Because fixed update is we will use fixed update whenever we perform any action which is related to physics, so that it has some certain calculation inbuilt. It is, and yeah, same thing only, like it will also call once per frame, but it will calculate some physics. So that's why we will use the physics fixed update, or you can call it as a physics update if you want. So make sure, like if your game does have some, if your logic does have some physics in it, make sure to utilize the fixed update. So the very first thing I'm trying to do is like I am here, as you can see, I have declared one more variable float as input, and I'm passing like input get axis raw. So get axis, what it does is like how can I say that? In your keyboard, you might have seen like, you know, left and right key, A and D key, which represent left and right. On your joystick, you might have seen a joystick panel which moves in omnidirection. So those are known as axis. Okay, suppose if you want to move left, you will press left key. If you want to move right, you will press right key, and likewise up and down. Okay, so this is nothing but input. These all are the possible input that you will give for the directional input, like, you know, left, right, up, down, or east, west, north, south. So this horizontal, and we horizontal, that means we are only interested in getting horizontal axis only, left and right. We are not at all interested in vertical axis. So that's why this floating integer represent that I want to have only horizontal axis, and horizontal axis in our Unity varies the position from -1 to +1. So if it is going in x axis, likewise, if you might have seen your Cartesian plane, so Cartesian plane look like something this, okay, where we have x and where we have y, sorry, where we have our y, and here we have our negative x. So this is -1 and this is +1. So same, like our floating input will give us return as -1 or +1. Only two things it can give us a return. That means range from -1 to +1. Okay, let's see that in action, how it works. So when I expand my main scene, I select my player, and I could see here, okay, I could see here player script is attached to it. Okay, speed is 10, and we will go to the console, because see here I have wrote one code like debug.log. So what it is doing is it will logging the input, and when it will log the input, when our rigid body, well, okay, I want to tell you guys what rigid body is also. So see, when I choose the player, and here the rigid body 2D component is there, and rigid body is nothing but it has some component which is related to physics. As you can see, the very first thing is gravity here. Okay, and body type is dynamic, and we haven't performed any physics material. Physics material is nothing but, you know, suppose if you want to have a ball, and if you want to add rigid body onto your ball, and you want to add a physics material and give a ball a bouncy nature, so we will create a physics material of bounce, and we will add here. But currently we are not doing anything, so just ignore that. Auto mass handling, mass is 1. So currently the gravity will be based on the mass. So currently, like, you know, we are, this is auto calculating as 1 here, and we can also change if you want based on size and all. That is the advanced topic, but for a beginner kind of, you can ignore that. And linear drag and angular drag also ignore that, you know, like it's just based on the moment. Just we are focused only on the gravity part. Make sure, like, you know, gravity is 0. Why? Because let's see, if I play my game here. Okay, play means like when I'm playing the game, this is the screen you should observe, is how a user will see this game. Okay, so when I'm pressing my D key, it is moving right, and when I'm pressing A key, it is moving left. Okay, so our code is working fine, and I want to show you, if I make my gravity scale to 1, what will happen. Okay, and when I click play, see our player fall down automatically, because now in our game or onto our player the gravity is applied. Okay, so we will make sure that our gravity scale remain to 0, so that our player can float left and right. See, left and right, left and right. Okay, and here also you can observe, when I'm pressing left and right, we are getting the value 0, 1 and -1. Okay, I'll show you again. When I'm pressing left, okay, the very first one you can observe here, 700 and 825 times it get called. When I'm pressing right, as you can see, the 1, likewise. Okay, so this is it. This is our step number. Can anyone tell me on which step we were? Okay, everyone is available ना? सोया तो नहीं है कोई? Boring तो नहीं लग रहा? I'm sorry. Just hold on. Okay, let me go back to GitHub. So we were at step 7. Okay, now we will go to the step 8, and we will revert it, and we will fetch origin. and we will read the description of step 8, what it says. Add the collider. Okay, this is very easy task, and why we need collider I will tell you. So as you can see in the previous step, we have added our script which moves left and right, likewise left and right. But let me remove the collider for the time. But okay, gizmos on. So this is a scene view again. Okay, this is our developer view, and this is the view which game player will see whenever he is playing the game. So this is the view where we can perform all our action while developing, and this is the view where the player will see. Okay, so I'm just playing it. Now observe it, both the view. The very first at the okay, our gravity is 1. So let me make my gravity to 0 for the time being. Okay. Now you can see I am moving left, but I am going outside the bounded window. When I'm moving right, again going outside, and when I'm moving left, I'm going outside. So to avoid that, what we are trying to do is we are adding colliders. So see, once I enable the collider, you can see this green color kind of boundary, which is invisible to the game world, but visible to the inspector, or you can say scene view. Like, this is the boundary is bounded with an invisible collider where player will not able to surpass it. So once I play again, I will click my right and see player is not going. And then when I click on left, player is not going beyond the boundary. And yeah, the main reason our gravity was on because I have also added a bottom collider. Okay, currently you can see the position of the player is a bit in air with respect to this green bar here. Okay, this is our green bar, and the position of the player is a little bit, let's say this is H. Okay, so yeah, some of the people, like if you're from a mathematical background, or if you're not, then you might have no, like, why we use sine theta, cos theta, what are the angles. So this is the main reason that sine, cos, tan came into action, because to calculate the height and all those things. Currently I'm not covering that topic, but yeah, so this is the position our player is this much in air. So to avoid that, what I did is, like, I have added the gravitation to 1 to the player. So when I play, see what will happen. Our player will fall down. Can you see that? Our player fall down, and it is exactly at the same position with the collider. And also make sure, like, our player also does have the collider. To make that happen, you just have to add a component called box collider 2D, because it's a 2D game. There are 2 different colliders. Some of you might add the box collider and say that, sir, it's not working. Why? Because you might have added box collider. So make sure if you're making a 2D game, so you should add box collider 2D. Okay, once you add the box collider 2D, it will look like this. Okay, make sure it's checkbox on, and you can edit the collider, like, based on the player. Like if the player feet is like that, so just click on edit. This is the edit button, and you can adjust the width, you can adjust the height likewise, and if you're happy, just leave it like that. So what will happen is, like, this will recognize that player also have some kind of collider, who our game engine, and based on that it will determine that if any 2 other collider is available, then it should not collide. So I will give you an example. Okay, let's say these 2 player are there. Okay, if this player collide with this particular player, how you will identify that it is hit with this? So this box range will define it. I'll show you. Okay, so this box range. So this box range, if these 2 box range collide with each other, then we will have an error message, or we will have a debug message like, something got collided. Okay, so this is how we handle the collision. Okay, let's go ahead and check the step number. Okay, which step we have to follow? Step 8, now step 9. So step 9, where is the step 9? Step 9, reverted step 9, we have to see this one, revert and fetch. And what step 9 states that we are creating the animation for rig player. Oh, this is the interesting topic now. Okay. Again, I am not an animator, but I'll try my best. So pardon me if I, not able to fulfill, if not able to deliver you correctly. So to create the animation, what we have done is, like, we have created an animation folder. Okay, and we have make sure, like, you have selected the player, and go to the, and yeah, some of you might have not seen this animation window previously. So to get that animation window, go to window, go to animation, and then bring the animation window. Once you click that, then your animation window will be up and running. And if you select the player, you can see that there is a one button called create. So once you click on create, make sure you're creating an idle animation. Idle means standing. So this is how already it's present idle. So I will just click yes. See, now we have a timeline here, and we have here it's asking like add property, what property you want to add. So currently do not add any property. You just make sure like, this player performs some action based on some time. So what action it should perform. So this is the timeline. So if you click on, let's say 30 second, okay, and this is a record button, what kind of action it should perform if player moves to 30 second. So we will click on record button, and let's say I want its head to move down a bit at 30 millisecond. Okay, sorry about that, 30 millisecond. Okay, and then as you can see, if I play it, so this is how the animation will look like, that it is moving its head up and down. It's just like a nodding movement, yes. And I also want its body to move a bit left and right at, let's say, 0.10 seconds. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just click, okay, not body, it's hand. Okay, left arm should rotate a little bit like that, and right arm should rotate a bit like that. And also make sure, like, when you're creating your animation, so the very first frame should be should copy and paste at the very last frame. So if you're creating an animation timeline of 0.40 millisecond, so make sure like your 00 and your 40 is same, so that it will come back to the same state again if you're creating an idle animation. See, oh, it's looking nice. Okay, and it's idle, and it is just waving its hand here and there. It's waving its head, nodding its head up and down. So this is how idle animation look like. Suppose, if you're standing idle in a public, so this is how you do. I don't do that, but yeah, you should do sometimes, so that, some game developer will observe us from far side, and then he will say, oh, see, that idle animation is being performed. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Okay. Okay. Now let's see it again. See? So this is how we create animation on our rigged character. Okay. This is how we create our animation on our rigged character. Now, if you are happy with your animation, make sure you create the idle file, and now we will create the running animation. So I'll create new clip. I will make it as a running. Okay, and how to make the running characters? The very first thing is like, when a player is running, 1 second, hold on. Okay, once, like, if player is running, it is bending in a one direction. Okay, so it's always bent at one direction. So make sure at your 0.00, your recording button is on, and head inside the body last time, as I said, and bend it little bit like that. Left leg should go left, right leg should go right. Okay, let it be like that. Okay, and when you come to the 0.30 second, make sure our right leg goes back and our left leg comes forward, and your arm also come forward. Which one? Your left, and right goes back. Oops, sorry. Okay, pardon me if it is not right. Just see, this is how it run. Yeah, I do run like that. This is resembling myself. Okay. So, and also while running, our head also nod a bit up and down. So in the middle, I will make sure like, at 0.10 second, our head will go down a little bit. Oh, it's too much. Little bit, not that much. Okay. And when it comes to 0.30 second, our head will raise up back. Okay. Now let's see it in action. Yeah, very good. This is how we should run. So pardon me again. As I said, I am not an artist, but I'm trying my best. So And yeah, what I did here is like I selected all, and suppose if you want to shrink down the timing, just select all, and Unity has this new feature where you can drag the timings. Like suppose if you want running to be performed very fast, only 228 second, 0.28 second, just shrink it down and just play it. See, it's running so fast and furious. Part 8. And then you can go ahead and do the 0.50 and then perform. See, it's slowly it's running. So this is how you can adjust the timing. But anyway, this is not the final output I already made for you because it takes time. So that's why, we cannot do right away everything. So I already pre-made it for you. Again, we'll go back to the step 10. Yes or no? Yes, I think so. Yeah, step 10. What does step 10 says? Let's see. Step 10 says revert me first. Okay. Let's revert this step 10, and step 10 says adding the running animation. Okay, this I already done. So I already created the animation. Okay, why it is not changing? Fetch. Why this collaborative? Okay, stop it. Let it be. Step 10. Yeah, step 10 is done. Now let's go to the step 11. Let's revert this. Test, commit, push. So this, why I'm trying to, utilizing this version controller, that also I will tell you. Just hold on for a while. Step 10 is done. Step 11, push. So what does our step 11 says? Finalizing the left and right animation with face turning. Okay, this is nothing but, like animation once you do practice, and then you will come to come with your final result. Okay, I'm just reloading my all animations. So when I click on player, and then when I click on play, as you can see, this is how idle animation look like. This is looking really good. Okay, and how to go back and check to the running animation. Okay, I'll show you what I'm trying to do now. See, when it switched to running, it doesn't do anything. Why? Because I haven't coded it. So let me switch my this state to running. Okay, never mind. I'll show you here itself. I'll click on player, I will click on run, and then I will play it. So see, this is how it will run. So our running animation is also done. Our idle animation also done. So we are ready. Like, our game is almost, coming to an stage where we are making good progress. As you can see here, our okay. So when we click on play, we can move left, we can move right. Okay. And I think I missed this step for you guys. When you are moving left and right, how this animation is switching. And I think this is the right time, and we have made it in this step only. Yes, we have made it in this step only. So what we have done is, like, on your player, you might have seen you have an animator component. So what animator component does, just go to window, bring the animator component. Okay, this is your animator component, how it looks like. Let me close scene tab for the time being. Okay. So this is your animator component. So this is completely based on FSM. FSM is nothing but finite state machine. Like, these are the different state of animation. The very first stage is always your default state, which represent in orange color. So entry point, like, when the game entered, we have to make sure, like, our animation is always in idle state. Like, you don't want your player to just simply stand and do nothing. So you have to have some breathing effect. Like, you have to make sure, like, player is breathing. You have to give a bit of natural kind of thing. So that's why we created an idle animation. So idle animation is nothing but a breathing effect. And then we created this thing. This is nothing but a changing state. And how we created, we just make transition, and from which state to which state you want, this is how you can make the transition. So this is like from idle to run. Okay, and then we made one more transition from run to idle, but it will not simply go. there should be some condition. So to give a condition from idle to run, here you can see parameters. So we have created one parameter called is running. So you have to add parameter from this add bar. So we can add different type of parameters: floating parameter, integer parameter, boolean, and trigger. So currently I have added here as a boolean parameter, which will give me return type as 0 and 1, or you can say true and false. So suppose if our is running is true, that means it will switch from idle to running. So what, in simple word, we can say that, like, if you're moving a player from its initial position to other position, okay, if it has some kind of movement, that means it is not idle anymore. So we have to give it a condition: it is not idle anymore. Then we are also adding here, you can add multiple condition as well. So I just wanted to show you, like, this is a adding of the condition bar. Oops. Okay, but there will be always one condition. So what you will do is, like, just you can select this one. Okay, this one comes here. Okay, you select the condition, and then you make sure, like, if condition is true, like, currently we are making for idle to run. So make sure this condition is true. Now we will select this one, this transition, and you have to make sure the condition should be false. Okay, read this. This is false. So when the player is in idle state, then make sure, like, condition is false. Then only it will come from running position to idle position. Okay. So this is a simple way of designing the condition. And again, we will open our code, which we left earlier, and I think we added some more data types here, and we have added more variable here: speed, animation, and all those things. Okay, so what this is, you were clear previously, this is you were clear, and we just talked about animator, and we just talked about the animation component and the animator component. Okay, this one, sorry. So animator component is nothing but the one which we saw here. This one, this is the animator component which has idle, run, two types of animation. These are the different animation which are integrated in that. Okay, so we have to utilize that. So how to utilize that component using code? The initial state should be anim, like, this is our we have given the name. Make sure the script where it is attached to has an animator component. So as you can see, where our script got attached to has an animator component. So our script is attached to, and it has an animator component. So this is what we are trying to do, is, like, in start we are just accessing this component. Okay, and after accessing it, we can play around with the controller and all those things. That means this part using code. Okay, so we are making sure we are accessing it, and then we are checking if input is not equal to 0. That means if input has some motion, then make is running equal to true. If input is 0, then make it false. So it will switch the running to what do you call true and false. So how it will work, let's see it in action. And yeah, I want to mark some of the things. Just observe here. Okay, observe here and observe here. Okay, make sure you give the focus here when I move my player left and right. See, when I'm moving my player right, it's changed the state. Also, this become checked. That means this become true. Okay, when I release the key, it moved back to the idle state. When I'm moving left, it came and it is in running state. As you can see, our player is continuously performing the running animation. When I release the key, it is coming back to the idle position. See, left, right, idle, left, right, idle. And when I'm performing this, you can also observe this particular circle where checkbox is, sometime it is on, sometime it is off, sometime it is on and off. Why? Because I'm moving the character and I'm releasing the key. Okay, so this is the concept of our animation and the movement of our player left and right. Okay, so this is also done. Now let's move ahead with our step 12. Okay, where is the step 12? Step 12, fetch origin. And what we have done in step 12, let's read about it. We created the enemy and check if it is triggered with the player. If yes, then create debug message. Also think about some action to be performed if enemy hit the player. Okay, very good. So what we have done here is, like, Reload. Okay, so what we have done here, like we have created the enemies. So we have created one more empty game object with sprite renderer. No. What I have done is like we have just drag and drop the enemy and I just given the name as enemy. Okay, this is what I have done here. So I have just added the enemy and also I have added some box collider in the enemy. Oh, at tab inspector. Sorry, at tab scene 2D. So let's observe the enemy. So this is our enemy. Okay, this is enemy number 1, you can call it. So that's why I given the name as enemy underscore 1 or 01. So what are the component that enemy can have? One is enemy spawner. Okay, we added one script called enemy spawner. So let's go to the script folder, and this is the script we have added to the enemy. And what does this script contains? It contains minimum speed of the enemy, maximum speed of the enemy, and speed the normal speed of the enemy. Okay, this is the speed which will be varies the normal speed, and this is the range of minimum and maximum. So in the start function, what we are trying is like we are just making sure like the speed varies between the minimum and the maximum. Anything it will randomly assign the speed to the speed variable. So we are not declaring the speed like this particular enemy will fall at 5 kilometer per second or 10 kilometer per second, but what it is doing is like we are creating a range that our enemy can spawn at any speed between 0 and 10, 10 and 20, 20 and 30 likewise. One second, my ear is spinning, just give me 1 second. Ouch. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so what it is doing is like it is assigning the minimum and maximum here to the speed variable. Okay, and the update, what update is doing is like update is translating to the vector 2 dot down. So vector 2 dot down is nothing but simple. You can imagine the downward force. Okay, so suppose our enemy is here, so we are applying a force in downward direction. Okay, and we are multiplying the downward direction with the speed. And what speed we are multiplying? This speed which is assigned to it with a particular random range. And time dot delta time. Time dot delta time is nothing but you can say that someone of you, if you don't know what time dot delta time, so in simple what I will define you the time dot delta time. Just imagine you have a very outdated CPU which run at 10 fps, and you have a very superpower very latest computer or very latest laptop like what I have alien area 51 which run at 120 fps. So my PC is very super fast and your PC is very slow. Suppose if I created a car game, okay, my car is moving in my PC with let's say 50 kilometer per second, and it is giving the speed like very fast. Okay, it's moving very smooth in my machine, and you have a very outdated PC which is P1 PC, and it is also running at the 50 kilometer per second. But in your machine, when you're pressing the car to go in a certain speed, it is moving like that. But in your window, it is showing like it is moving at 50 kilometer per second, but still it's not reached from 1 meter, but it is showing like 50 kilometers. So this is what the speed variation which performs on different CPU. So to make sure that every CPU does have the similar calculation, we perform time dot delta time. So time dot delta time is a very minute value, which is like 0.0001 or something. So this value is get calculated by Unity from our CPU cycle time based on our machine. So suppose if your PC is super fast and it is giving like 0.0001 as a time dot delta time, so it will multiply it with 0.001 and it will give the same speed. Like if you say my player is running at 50 kilometer per second, it will give the same speed. And if your PC is outdated, so it may multiply it with 0. Or let's say 0.10, or let's say it may also time dot delta time could also be 2 or 3 or something like that, possibly. It's not actually, but possibly, just you can say that, or close to 1. So if it is close to 1, then it will also perform the same speed. Like your both the things will go at the same speed in both different machines. So that's why time dot delta time is a very important aspect. So always make sure you utilize it whenever you're performing any movement. You should multiply that. And what we have done is here is like we have also make sure that it check for the player. Who? Our enemy will check like if any object has a tag with the name of player, then it will give me a debug.log message like I have hitted the player. Let's see that in action. Okay, let's go back. So this is the anime and this is the tag. Currently it is untagged. So we can tag it with like, player, and this is our, no, player. Player should be tagged as player, and enemy, let it be untagged. So what it is doing is like our enemy, when it is falling, okay, when it is falling from top to the bottom, it is making sure like, if it hit to the player, then it will give us a error debug message like, I hit to the player. So that again we will see in our step 13. So our step 13, okay, let's revert it, fetch it, and then what step 13 says, access the player control function to handle damage and destroy the player health. Okay, let me play it first and let's see it in action. See, oops, something went wrong because of the collider. Just ignore it. Where is our enemy? Okay, and where is our player? Here. So if I put my player here and if I bring up my console and if I see here that enemy hit the player, error should or debug should come when it hit to the player. Oops. See, observe this area. Okay. Oh, both collided. Okay, the worst mistake that developer used to do is like, it is trigger is not on. So if is trigger is not on, that means your enemy and player will collide with the collider and then it will perform some action just like you seen like as a real physics. So to do that, make sure is trigger is on. Oops, is trigger is on. So once you play it again, and collider is here and our player is there, gravity scale to 0. Okay, yeah, okay, it's working now. Now let's go back and let's go to the step number 13. Done, we have done these changes. Okay, let's go to the step number 14 now. What is the step number 14? I don't know. Let's see. Push and pull like a magneto. Okay, now let's come to the step number 14. Create enemy prefab and change the sprite. Okay, so what we are doing here is like we are creating different kind of enemies now. Okay, and how we are creating is like we are creating the folders like a player, and I will delete it. I'll delete this one also. So this is the enemy number 1. So what we done is like we drag and drop and it become the prefab. Okay, and how we created the enemy number 2, we went to the character, we just drag and drop this enemy and we given the name as like enemy underscore 02. And as you can see, this is not blue in color. Okay, that means it is not a prefab. So I created a folder called prefab and I drag and drop it to here. So this has become blue. So what prefab is? Prefab is very handy tool. Like, it's a prefabricated file where you can use this file at multiple location. If this file is, let's say if you want to handle the crowd, if you want to handle so many trees, and if you want to make changes to one tree and you want that change to actionally perform in all trees at once, so it's a very easy process when you use the prefab. Suppose if you don't use prefab, then you have to control D, okay, so many times, and then you have to change the color here, everywhere. But if you want to change the color for all the different variant at once, sorry, what you will do is like you will just create a prefab. Okay, and you will just open the prefab like that. Here, open the prefab and you can change the color. Okay, and as you can see, all the player have changed its color automatically. This is the advantage of prefab. Okay, so prefabricator, so we have created a 3 prefab here, as you can see. Yeah, 3 prefab. So this is the enemy 1, enemy 2, enemy 3. Okay, And what we have done apart from that, making the prefab, nothing else. Yeah, we have created some damage script to make sure, like, it has any damage or not. So currently, yeah, we have created this health bar, not health bar, integer, which is accepting some health, and then we haven't declared it anywhere else currently. So we will wait for our step to come into the picture, and then we'll see. So step 14 is like create the prefab. Now we'll go to the step 15, revert changes, push to origin. Let's focus on step 15 now. Code fixing. Okay, ignore it. Step 15 two times we have done, revert changes. Step 16 now we will do. Test, commit, yes, commit, push. We will go to the step 16 now directly. So step 16, what it does. Okay, particle and explosion. Okay, we will create that now. Let's wait. Reload. Okay, so many changes now. What we have done is, like, we have just created the environment. Now we have created the environment for game object, and we have added all the things whatever we had in our asset folder. I'll just remove that. I will tell you step by step. So when when you go to the character folder, you can bring the mountain here. Oops. You can bring the mountain. Okay, mountain is here, and just make sure it's on. You can bring clouds. Where are the clouds? Okay, these are the clouds. You can bring some clouds as well. Okay, reduce the size. Okay, likewise, you can design your own game, to be honest, whatever you like, and make sure the ordering layer should be backside of the game object. So what these are the sorting layer. Actually, sorting layer is default, and we have created a one more layer called background, which is beyond the default layer. So just make sure it is at background. So what, like, okay, I'll show you in 3D perspective, then you will come to know. See, this is a player. Okay, and this is your mountain layer. If you make it more back, that means it will go as much as you want, but when you see it from this angle, it will always look like, in 2 dimension, that it is just behind it. But in 3 dimension, it could be way far. So always make sure, like, your mountain should lies behind the player. Otherwise, if it comes in front of the player, then there will be a problem. But currently you can see I'm trying to bring it in front of the player, but again, player is always visible to me. Why? Because that's why we always kept our sorting layer in the background. If I keep it in default, and if I try to bring the mountains in front, then it may come in front. But currently our player is also at different sorting layer. As you can see, our player is at where is the sorting layer? Okay, player means the body and the part is at minus 10 and all those things. So they are at minus 10. So that's why. Okay, so likewise, so whenever you design the game, you have to make sure, like, your sorting layer of the background is always behind the default layer, so that it won't come in front of the player. Okay, and you will able to see the good quality work in front of you. And what we have done is, like, we have created some spawner. See, as you can see, these are the spawn points. Spawn point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So why we have created, like, our enemy will fall from top to bottom. So these are the spawn point 1. So how this spawn point is looking to you? See, to show this spawn point like that, it is nothing but an empty game object. So I will create one more empty game object. Let's say students. And where is that empty game object in real world? Here is. Okay, here is that empty game object. See, as you can see, like, whenever I'm clicking my mouse at some different location, I'm not able to see where this student is lying in my game scene. When I'm selecting it, then only I'm able to see, okay, here some game object is there. So to visualize this, we will use this component called icon. We can select the icon for our game object. Okay, I will select the icon. I will make sure our gizmo is on, and I can give the name, oops, student, and make sure the pivot should lie to the center. Okay, as you can see, this is the student game object. When I delete it, student game object deleted. When I create another game object called teacher. Okay, and I can also add some icon to that. I can add dot, I can add diamonds and circles, likewise, whatever you want, you can just select from these three icons. So at least you can visualize those objects in the real world. Okay, that's why we use this icon here as like spawn point 1, spawn point 2, and 3, 4, 5. These are nothing but the empty game object, to be honest. See, when I click on spawn point 1, I can see this spawn point 1 here, 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 likewise. Okay, and apart from that, let's see what changes we have done in our code. So in our code, currently we have just created an enemy spawner script where minimum maximum we have already talked about, and here we have created a class. That means we call the same class of the player and player script. We given the name as a player script, and on a start we are making sure, like, the player script find the player component and attach to it, and then we are hitting the object or not, we are just making sure that, and we are instantiating the explosion, and then, and yeah, explosion, we have explosion, that means particle system. So particle system is nothing but a very, one second, yeah, it's a VFX topic. So particle system, how to create that? Just right click, create an empty game object, just give it a name called particle. Okay, now you can see this game object lies here. Okay, why I'm not able to move it? Okay, I'm able to move it, but I'm not able to visualize it because my camera vicinity is a bit, okay, let it be. So let me bring it to 0, 0, 0. Okay, and now I will add a component called particle system. So once I add the particle system, as you can see, so many things are being popped out now. These are in what you call pinkish color. So this is nothing but like the particles which are emitting from our game object. Okay, now to make it like a blast and likewise, so we will just optimize it using these components. Okay, these are the components mainly. These are like pretty straightforward, like in how many duration you want the particle. Let's say I want only for 1 second, so I will click on 1 and I will just wait for it. So I just want the duration for 1 second, and start speed at 5. No, I want it 1. So see, slowly it is coming. Lifetime should be 5 seconds or 1 second. I want lifetime only 2 seconds. So after 2 seconds, everything is getting destroyed. Okay, size I want 1 or 0.5. I want 0.5. So see, half the point is there. Rotation, do I want any rotation? Yes, let's say 90 degree. So it is rotated 90 degree. And emission, do you want any kind of emission on top of it? So rate over time is 10. We can make 100 also. See, so many, it is emitting so much, but I want only 5. So only 5 particle emit at one time. Shape, what kind of shape you want it to perform? So currently you can see we have only conical shape. We can also emit the particle in a donut shape. We can emit the particle in a box shape. We can emit the particle in a circular shape. Okay, and I like most of the time is cone. Yeah, in 3D actually, but in 2D, let's say circle, rectangle. Circle is also fine. Okay, also currently we don't have any component, we don't have any material in it. That's why it is coming as a, what do you call, pink in color. So if you apply material in it, so renderer is the component of the particle system where it can ask what you want to render here. You want to render billboard, okay, then apply some material. So what kind of material you can choose? So if you have any material, you can just choose, let's say this one. See, this is how it looks like. I don't want any material, just click on none. And if you want any trail material, you can apply there. And if billboard, that means it will always look towards you. It's a 2D kind of thing. Okay, And then do you want reflection? These are very advanced kind of things. So this is how you can add so many things. You can also add texture sheet animation if you have any, and you can add collision also, but make sure like do not overdo so much thing on your particle, because this will impact your what do you call it will impact your performance, because particles collision and particles will have so many components, then it will be very heavy. It looks very smooth, but it is very heavy. So make sure you use the particle system in more advanced way by making sure like you should not overdo the thing which is repetitive, which is not needed, and all kind of things. So these are do's and don'ts you have to make sure. So what I have done here is like we can decode this particle effect. See, it is blast effect. We have just start color. Okay, we can make it red, and we can make it let's say green. Okay, tomorrow is Independence Day, let's make it red and green. Okay, saffron. Sorry Shaktiman. Okay, now play it. See, when I play it, it's saffron and green. So this is how the explosion will look like. And what are the changes I've done? I have just added some shape here, like circle, and then texture sheet animation with particle on it, and then we have added some noise, and yeah, renderer. So renderer, we have added the billboard and the sprites. Okay, so this is how it done. This is how we can make it happen. Okay, pardon me. So this is how we make the particle system. We are very close now. We have done the step 16. Now we will go to the step 17. Step 17, which one should I use? This one. This is the latest one, I think. No, this one. I need to make some changes. Okay. Push it. So again, if someone is joining again, if someone joined recently, they don't know what I'm doing. So this is a GitHub where I have already wrote the code. I'm just reversing the procedure which I have already completed. So one by one, just we are making the changes. Commit, let's commit. Go to the history. Let's go to the step 18 now. Fetch origin and push. Now go to the changes, history tab, and see what we have done in step 18. Create the menu UI. Okay, let's wait for it to reload, because we have only half an hour left. I want to also share with you how we can publish the game. So I will fasten the process now. So, okay, I'll just click on reload. I'll go to the scene, main scene. No camera rendering. Why? Okay, this is okay. We were designing our menu scene. That's why. Let it be. Let's wait again, because it didn't load it all file continuously. That's why. Where is the Unity reload? Where is this step 18? Okay, it has some merge conflict. Let me do it. Let me resolve the conflict now. That's why I'm saying like we have very less time left. Let's directly move to step 19, where I will show you how I have done that step 18 also. Okay, these are the 22 changes. Just commit it. Push it. Anyone have any questions, so that meanwhile I will also perform and then I can answer your question as well. Just ask me anything. Anyone, please, all questions are welcome. Are you able to hear me or not? Hello? 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 Can anyone raise a hand, because I'm not sure whether I'm audible or not? Akash, hello? Yeah, Viman. Okay, perfect.
You are audible, sir. No problem.
Okay, perfect. Because from past almost 1.5 hours I was speaking, I thought no one is asking anything, so I thought I just simply saying to myself.
No, you are audible. You're totally
Okay,
audible.
okay, done.
How to raise hand? I don't know, like how to use it.
Okay, no problem. But students, if you have any queries, you can ask.
Yeah, anytime.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will let me just commit it first. There is something got what do you call, some conflict is there. Don't worry, it won't take more than 2 minutes. Revert is also done. Where were we were at step 17 at that time. That is done already. 2 times revert happened. Why this file is not getting merged? Does anyone have any clue if I have done any mistake, because I forget something? Okay, anyway, I'm bringing the one which I have already created. Just 2 step only we were behind, because we have covered the particle system. Only 2 things we need to cover now. One is how to add audio. Okay, how to add audio, and how to publish the game. So the very first thing to add audio is I will show you here itself. See, right click, create empty, and then give it a name called audio, and then add component called audio source, and add whatever audio you want. So we have some of the sample audio, I have this explosion and all those things. So let's say boss battle, I want to add this. I will just drag and drop and I will add. Now let me know if you are able to hear that or not, because currently I'm on my headphone. Are you able to hear?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah. So this is how we add audio onto game object, and how we can manage the audio to our script is like, suppose if we want this audio to continuously perform, so then we will make sure, like, we created a game object called audio manager. We will just drag and drop the boss battle, and then we will check box the loop option. So whenever we play the game, so you can hear one audio continuously. I'm moving left and right. 1, 2, and if it is third time, our player is destroyed and game over. Okay, so we have created the scene, we have created the audio and all those things. Because we have a less time left, I will show you how we can publish the game. So to publish the game, we will click on build setting and make sure that our menu scene and main scene is updated here. And currently I am releasing it as a WebGL version. So WebGL version is nothing but it will convert the entire game file into HTML format, and those HTML format we can upload to any web platform to get it done. And to make sure, we will just click on build option, and once you click on build, you can choose a folder. So I've created a build folder, and then you can just give it a name and then build it. It will take some time, 10-15 minutes to build the entire stuff. So that's why I have already pre-made that for you as well. So when we click on open Explorer, as you can see, not here, other files, I think. Yeah, so this is how the build file will look like. One index.html and other files which is required to run the game to WebGL version onto your web file. Okay, and it will have so many things. You can check whatever you want. But to upload this game, like to host this game, you need to have a what you call website where you can host the game. You can host locally as well, but currently so many browsers are not supporting WebGL or Unity. So we have to have a certain platform where we can host, we can publish the game. So simmer.io is one website where you can host the entire game as it is, whatever you're running in your local machine. Okay, so also before hosting that, I would like to tell you some of the things which I have added personally to modify the game. Is like, suppose if you open this game onto your mobile browser, you can just, let me turn off the sound first. So yeah, so whenever I move left and right, see, I'm not using keyboard anymore. I'm just using what you call my touch here, or you can say mouse here. So when I'm touching it, it moves in the right direction. When I'm releasing the touch, it moves in the left direction. So this is how I made a simple tweak, and how I done is like I created a simple button in our canvas. Likewise, so this is nothing but an entire button. Let me visible it for you. See, this is the entire button. So like in this section, if you touch it, like tap it, then it will move in the right direction. When you release the tap, it will move into the left direction. Okay, and how I have managed to do that, let me close this Visual Studio because this is a separate game engine. Script, I added a simple touch script, okay, onto that button. This simple touch script is very readable, to be honest. Let it open. Yeah, so what I have done is like I have created a touch class, and I have added the inbuilt function of event handler. Okay, event system. So make sure you import the event system DLL file, and these things is the part of this DLL file. Okay, you will not be able to simply add this in your scope unless and until you don't have this DLL file added. Okay, this is the Unity event system. So what this I pointer down and I pointer up handler contain, they contain Unity inbuilt function. One is on pointer down and one is on pointer up. So whenever you point, when you press the mouse button onto that button where you have applied this script, this function will get called automatically. Okay, whenever you release that button, this function will get automatically. So what I'm trying to do here is I have created a static float and making sure that float will become plus 1 when I'm pressing the button, and the float will become -1 when I'm releasing the button. Okay, this is the simple thing what I have done. And then what I did is like I called this class onto my player script where I have added the code like left and right direction. Where is my game? Here. Okay. Yeah. So onto my player script where I was moving my left and right, I have performed one check like if touch input, that means my touch class has the touch input. Okay, this is press. So touch class is press is on or not. If it is on, that means it should move in left direction. If it is off, it should move in right direction. Also, one at a time. So also I added here a code like where one at a time. Okay, here. See, either it will run via keyboard or via touch, because I'll show you why. So when you go to the final this one, our bonus touch implementation, no, step 20, and expand it, so you will be able to play the game also. Okay, so this is the website. What I did here is like I just uploaded the folder as it is. How I did is onto my build, sorry, okay, I just uploaded the folder as it is. So once I uploaded the folder, it will create the game link for me. I can play the game here and there itself. See, it is processing, and now I can name my game. I can get my name, game URL and all those things, and even I can play the game here and there, here itself. See, once I click on play, my game started. And even if you guys want to play the same game, let's play it together. See, Hailstorm, this one. I'm just copying this for you. Okay, and I will paste it onto the chat. Where is the chat? Okay, here is the chat. Play the game here. Okay, so if you want to play the game, you can play in mobile also. Just if you open this link, it will load onto your mobile and you can tap and play the game. Okay, so this is how we publish the game. And let's play it together now for the time being. Let's see if I hit on play. See, I'm using keyboard. Okay, left and right. Now I'm using mouse. So once you start moving using the touch button, so what will happen is like you will not be able to switch to keyboard. This is just for testing purpose. We have created this thing, and every player, every enemy has a damage control. Like if it hit to the player, it will give a certain damage. So if it hit to the player, so every enemy has different damage. Let's say if we go to the player, no, not player. If we go to the enemies, that means our prefab. So onto every prefab, we have a damage of, let's say, 25, and enemy number 2, it will take the damage 50, and enemy 3 will take the damage 25. Let's make it 20. Okay, and 50 is very high. Let's do it 35. So 25, 35, and 20. So what will happen is like now our player will die after 3 hit minimum. See, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, and 4th hit. Likewise. So this is how the entire game development of 2D we make. And this is how we launch our game. So if anyone is interested, just share his screen and show me the game which we have created right now. Just I will stop presenting my screen now. Show me any one of you. Anyone is Akash? Welcome. Share your screen. I want to see, like, are you able to play the game or not? Can you hear me? Anyone?
Akash, are you there?
Anyone, not only
Anyone?
Akash. Anyone can share his screen and just click on the link which I shared in the chat box and show me, like, are you able to see the game or not? Are you able to play the game or not?
Students, come on.
Yeah,
Kindly
mobile
share.
screen. Okay, it's
Yeah,
really great. Someone have shared the
shared
mobile
already.
screen.
Yes.
Krishna Prasad screen. Okay, Krishna, open the link. Perfect. See, he's able to play the game on his mobile. So this is how, see, we have created the game development process from scratch, and I think he's able to hear the audio also. I hope. My fingers are crossed. So this is a simple level, to be honest, like, level 1, and how we can create the game logic and all those things. There are many things you can do on this game. You can add movement of the cloud. You can even add some boss fight and so many things. So this is it for today's session. I hope you have understood so many concepts, and if anyone have any doubt, any questions on Unity out of this topic as well, you can ask me anything. I'm happy to help you on that, because it's been 7 years that I have given my best on Unity. So you can ask me anything. Feel free to ask.
Students, do you have any query? If you have any query, kindly ask.
Yeah, I think Leon want to say something, is connecting to audio or something like that. Anyways, if you're not able to speak, then don't worry. Just write me on the chat also. I will check it out.
Okay. So is there any sir contact number or email ID you can share with the students?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So
I think
in the chat box you can share that.
My email ID is very simple. Either you can just say anuragsen@hotmail.com or anurag.c#@gmail.com. Okay, just connect me. Akash is saying it was awesome. Thank you so much, Akash. And anyone have any questions, just ask me. Sir, if you have any question also, you can also ask me, no problem.
Yeah, sure. No, sir, it was a very nice session, and it was having a clear picture with it. No
Thank you so much,
problem.
sir. And I also wanted to share this GitHub link, which I think already given in the very first chat. This is the repo. So you can clone it also, and you can just, step by step, I have mentioned each and everything. I'll show you how it will look like onto web also. When I click on web, this is the GitHub link. See, it has the entire game. Okay. And when you pull it, like, you just click here, you go to code, you just clone this. You can open with GitHub desktop, and then once you open
sir, you are not sharing your screen. That's why.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Where is the sharing option? I think I lost the sharing option. Okay, share. Got it. Yeah, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is how it will look like on your desktop. Like, if you open my link, Anurag C# 2D game development session. So this is how the folder structure is all about. We have asset, we have package, and all those things. And once you clone that, like, when you go to this, and once you code, like, you just copy this and open your GitHub desktop. So how it will look like is, like, once you click on clone, like, you will just add your repository here, clone the repository, and you paste the URL into the UR section, and then you clone it. Okay. So after you clone it, this is how it will look like, very hodgepodge and all. Don't worry about it. Just go to the history section and go to the final one, wherever I have done this final done, or like bonus, whatever. The final is like the final release one, and click on revert changes, or just pull it. So once you pull it, you will see the reflection of the game as it is onto your local machine, the entire complete package. And if you want to follow step by step, you just go to the step 1 and check for the description what I have written there. Like, step 1, I'm just creating the empty folder. Step 2, empty scene. Step 3, character. Likewise, I have created step 20 to build and publish the game. And step 20 also contain the entire game as a package file. Just copy and add. And also I would like to tell you, like, this is the tutorial which is not created by me, to be honest. Like, this is already available at your different tutorials points. So I have learned from there, and I want to convey the same in as easiest way. Because what happened is, like, at different platforms like Udemy, Coursera and all, those are paid to the students, so student can't afford that one, because sometimes that will be very high price. And also we have some portal where we study, and we want to try to convey the same knowledge in as easiest way possible, because there they have created the entire course in very different aspect with the what you call mid-level of programming knowledge and likewise. So what I have tried my best to make sure, like, even a no voice programmer can also create and develop the game, and even artist also, non-programmer, can also create the game. So just based on that, I just created this entire thing in step-by-step procedure. So I think I'm only questioning to myself, and I'm answering to you. And if that's why just I'm asking, like, we have a couple of minutes left. If you can ask me any questions, so that it would be great for me to answer for that. I'm just stopping my screen. No, I will not stop my screen. I will just open the presentation file.
So we are at the stage of ending the session. So students, if you have any doubt, you can ask right now, or
yeah, I will just
you
open
can
this.
ask later also. Right.
Yeah, no problem, anytime. Welcome.
Okay. No questions? So students, I have already shared one feedback link in the chat box itself. So kindly fill the feedback form for the today's session. So thanks, Anurag.
You're welcome,
Thanks.
sir.
Thanks a lot for having such wonderful session. And
thank you so much, sir.
Students are also saying that it was awesome.
Thank you.
So it was really fantastic. Thanks a lot, sir. So should we wind up, sir? Wind up the session. Anurag, sir?
Yeah, no problem. I think I thought you were asking to Ajay, sir. No problem. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Ajay,
Thank you, everyone.
Can we end up the session? Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks, Anurag, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Great day, sir.